What is up, guys? Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. Happy Friday. This video is an absolute must-see, so props to all that can stick around for this one. Today, I will be talking about XRP as well as some XLM news, and I want to show you a few very interesting points made regarding the SEC, XRP's classification, and of course the ongoing Ripple lawsuit. Most importantly, as this is circulating and going viral right now in the XRP community, is this Telegram group essentially planning to pump XRP, the price of XRP, on February 1st. Now, I believe there's currently well over 17,000 members. This is a screenshot shared on Twitter by the XRP bully. And just so you know, I'm wishing the best for XRP, but I am essentially more bullish in betting on the long-term ecosystem as after it becomes predominantly utility driven. Now, there's, thousands of people in this group. Just please be safe with this. I'm not recommending anything like this whatsoever. Sometimes the opposite can even happen. So I wish everybody luck. But again, take it with a grain of salt because we've seen globally censorship on social media. They're using whatever they can as an excuse to implement, harder regulations or new laws. So this could be, part of a grand plan. So just take that with a grain of salt. I know that sounds a little tinfoil hatty. Just saying, honestly, if we pump, awesome. I think it is simply time. But you guys know me. I easily believe once there's clarity for XRP, the digital asset, it will rocket past $5, $10, etc. There's no doubt in my mind. And yes, I know it's been a bumpy road, but I believe we will get there in due time. So first things first, guys, this is shared by Status. You can find all these quotes on his website, and this is going hand in hand with some commentary by Brad Garlinghouse and, of course, Stuart Alderati. First things first, Andrew Seresny, the former top SEC official. The SEC's case is unprecedented and ill-conceived. The SEC has ignored XRP's clear status as a virtual currency. Remember FinCEN, they called it a virtual currency. Ripple, the company, paid the fine years ago. They're good to go, just like every other digital asset. Contradicting not only the findings of other US regulatory agencies, exactly as I just said, but also international regulatory regimes. And we're going to give you specific examples in this video, guys. I know everybody's looking for answers, but essentially, this is one of the most cruel things that I've ever seen in the cryptocurrency space. We're talking about a market capitalization of, $25 to $30 billion and losses of $10 billion plus that did not just affect some wealthy company like Ripple, but affected you and I in our funds. And guess what? The SEC was aware of the implication of doing such. So instead of being angry at Ripple or the cryptocurrency space, you should actually take another look at the regulatory bodies in the United States government. And yes, I'm from the US. I am pro-US for everything, but I'm very disappointed with how this is handled. As we can see, with the hedge funds going on with GameStop, and not to rant too much, but we saw what happened when everyday people were making too much money and hedge funds were doing 404 errors on some of the biggest stock trading platforms, not allowing people to buy. Robinhood was forcing us to sell if you had GameStop stock, for example, in their terms and conditions. That is corrupt as they come, or that is as corrupt as it comes, and this is going to further push the narrative of distributed ledgers, power to the people, peer-to-peer networks. It's not going to change overnight or 100%, but overall, the trends are going to be our friends in this matter, all right? It's going to be happening with or without us, and those that capture this and actually take advantage of this shift are going to end up very well. So SEC update, guys, I encourage you to screenshot this. This is Status, just showing XRP is not an investment contract, a security. The Howey test that is decades old and is not essentially a test that's set up for the modern regulatory landscape whatsoever. So I don't need to bore you with the details here. All right, so right here, Brad Garlinghouse, together with appropriate regulatory oversight, we can modernize outdated laws that clearly are not working to protect consumers and ensure orderly markets. Now, I just want to repeat this because I get some random people that watch my channel for the first time and they do not comprehend this space whatsoever. Maybe they're, big ETH maxis or some other altcoin. Just, I hold about 20 to 30 digital assets. It's honestly too much in my opinion. I really need to narrow it down. But if you are rooting against XRP and you actually hope that XRP is determined to be a security on a go-forward basis, you are anti-crypto as it gets, and it will actually affect the entire industry in a negative light. If you don't like XRP, that's fine. But if you have an altcoin that, has not been scrutinized yet by regulatory bodies in the US, you better hope that XRP gets positive regulatory clarity for the future of this entire asset class. Whether it's QNT, whether it's ADA, whether it's VeChain, even Ethereum for that matter. Just please be safe and be aware of this, all right? So now I want to show you some commentary from Stuart Elderati, General Counsel for Ripple. He's not just some Twitter lawyer. He is as big as it gets, people. So please be aware of this. Go look at their resumes and just understand these people are representing corporations that are valued in the billions of dollars. And keep in mind, Ripple is just another example of a decacorn. All right, right here, Stuart Elderati. I'm not going to bore you with this stuff. I'm going to speed right through this. This is all on Ripple's website, the preliminary Ripple responses, and then I want to show you some even better commentary. Stuart Elderati, no other country has classified XRP as a security. Remember, we can go. The Financial Conduct Authority of the UK, the Japan's FSA, Singapore, they've all said XRP is not a security. We've shown the video clip of Stuart Elderati breaking it down. Crypto assets are typically today going to be some type of payment token, XRP, a utility token, maybe Ethereum because it's, powering the entire network and staking, or a security token. It is not a security token. Now, truth be told, some of these tokens can have a little bit of it all, but I'm just saying XRP is not going to be a 100% security token on a go-forward basis. It's literally a virtual currency, a medium of exchange, some type of digital commodity, payment token, utility token. You cannot in any way say it is 100% a security token. It has already done $2.4 billion with a B in notional value for actual on-demand liquidity flows for financial institutions, not your grandma buying Bitcoin and holding it. So the SEC is at odds with its counterparts in the US and peers in other G20 markets. A lot of the G20 markets and countries, by the way, have said XRP is not a security. Ripple never held an ICO, nor did we ever sell or offer XRP as an investment, per that status picture I showed you of the contracts. For 8 years, XRP has traded in an independent market of Ripple. 8 years. And as we heard David Schwartz say, in 2019, we've been meeting with the SEC almost on a weekly basis for the past few years. They could have done something sooner. Why did they wait until the market cap was almost roughly $20 to $30 billion and essentially ruin the wealth of everybody's investments on the retail side? That's what you should be upset about. Is this some grand plan? You tell me, guys. I don't want to over-speculate. I just believe that we are going to get out of this mess. Right here. We also filed a Freedom of Information Act asking how the SEC determined Ethereum evolved from a security to not a security. Because remember, early on, and we'll show it here, they called Ethereum a security, but said it then morphed into not being a security. We heard the CFTC chairman say this commentary as well, that something could be a security or be sold in an uncompliant manner early on, but then evolve and become more decentralized. Well, that's pretty funny because that's surely how I see XRP as well. So if you guys want to say, Ripple's going to pay a lot of fines, the execs are going to, pay fines, or the escrow amount will change. Yeah, very possible. But what I am saying is XRP will not be classified as a 100% security on a going forward basis. So overall, I'm going to be holding, I'm going to be accumulating because I'm doing my own research in this matter. And yes, it's a messy road ahead. Do not be fooled. But please just stick to the facts, stick to what you know. And yes, there's risk and reward in every single investment, but that's what makes this upside so enticing to me. No explanation or guidance was given why. Seems very lazy. So we're simply asking for the rules to be, number 1, stated clearly, and 2, applied consistently. Seems reasonable. You guys can see their full legal filing right there. We're not defending this case just for ourselves. We're fighting for everyone who has been hurt by the SEC's filing to restore order to the markets, and most importantly, for industry clarity, not just for XRP, for all of crypto. We will push to get this case resolved as quickly as possible, and fingers are crossed, as we know the next dates are up in February. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. And I believe when there's clarity, guys, the liquidity providers on the institutional side are going to come back and start making markets for XRP, which again is higher liquidity, boom, 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 more volume ideally, and then the price will recover once again. And yes, I do believe, and this is going to be very controversial to a lot of you older conservative people, but this is crypto, so you better get used to it. And you didn't, most of us, I did not see Doge doing, hundreds of percents in return. I believe that we truly, and actually kind of easily have a shot of XRP after this dump and this manipulation of going well over $1 to $2, even within this year, believe it or not. And that is one of the things that I'm seeing. All right. So Stuart Elderati talking about this, we'll go over that in a bit, but right here, the US regulatory environment is unpredictable. Imagine trying to explain what an iPhone is in language to your great-grandfather who would have understood just after World War II. That's how easy it is to predict which digital assets are securities under the post-war Howey test, an outdated framework whatsoever. So the current approach is also not practical, nor does it lead to good policy. Channeling and all secondary trading through regulated intermediaries cannot apply to many digital assets without wholly defeating their utility. Love that. And that's a quote from someone that actually served on the SEC during the Bush administration, and we're going to go over that as well. So before we get into that, I do want to talk about some XLM news. As you guys know, I'm a holder of that. We can see right here, Danelle Dixon, CEO of Stellar. We know that she's on the Global Future Crypto Council with, of course, Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple on the World Economic Forum. So it's my bet that these people that are working with energy efficient blockchain networks that have very good consensus mechanisms, whether it's retail or wholesale, are going to solve a lot of problems in terms of liquidity for the ecosystem. That is my bet. So with all this exciting developments on Stellar, the timing of our EF, and this is their enterprise fund, couldn't be better. SendWire will hit the ground running, providing developers an easy way to start or continue building in the ecosystem. You can see right here, starting in 2021 with our 5th enterprise fund investment in SendWire, we can see a leading blockchain payments company with industry-leading payment APIs. Wire will empower Stellar business to expand existing payment corridors and develop new ones. Now, if you watched that video I showed of head of ACI real-time payments talking about the implications of not only domestic schemes, but talking about the remittance corridors and payment corridors, I think you guys understand how big this could potentially be. All right. So we can see a $5 million enterprise fund. It seems like this group is pretty large. They've already sent over $5 billion since they started in 2013. You can see some of the currencies right here, APIs to fintech applications, overall future-proofing interoperability, you name it, etc., as I often say. All right, now right here, guys, Bank XRP sharing this. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but this is something to note. So this is the OECD. I'm sure you guys are familiar with them, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Well, what are they talking about? The thing that I've been talking about this whole week in almost every video, the tokenization of assets. I had it open earlier. It's just a massive PDF. I don't want to bore you with it, 56 pages. This is just talking about the future, the immediacy of, again, getting digital representations of equities, real estate, you name it, and this is going to be happening. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about non-fungible tokens for all of you gamers, NFTs, and a huge deal. So yes, I know Doge has been exploding. Well, in other news as well as that, we did see that now Flare Networks, again, unlocking all of this value that's trapped in Doge and Litecoin and other ecosystems using XRP, and obviously going to be adding massive demand for XRP as well. And you understand what that happens to do to price long term. Do I want XRP to go to $1, $10, $50? Yes, but do I want to be able to reach high prices and actually have the liquidity and utility to stay at those high prices? Hell yeah, and that is what I'm anticipating. So yes, we can chase pumps, but I plan to hold portions of my investments for life thus far. All right, so game assets should belong to gamers. Gala Games, and again, Gala, believe it or not, is actually available on bitrue.com. The links are in the video description if you do not have an exchange for Bitrue, as US investors are having trouble buying XRP because they stopped the trading. And again, just like AMC, GameStop, well, you know, the XRP community knows exactly how that feels first. So pretty crazy. I never thought we'd see that. And 2021 is already starting to seem a little crazier than 2020. Right here, established by a co-founder of Zynga, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with them, is integrating with Flare. Assets will be mintable, transferable, and tradable on Flare. Remember, fungibility, the ability to essentially interchange or exchange between assets or things of value easily. So gaming is massive. I know we talk about tokenization of assets. Well, let's not forget digital representations for gamers and how big, you know, websites and platforms like Twitch are today, and, you know, VR and everything exploding. So kids nowadays, their role models are, you know, not always just basketball players and baseball players and football players today. They're becoming gamers, as we know, or some type of influencers, so keep that in mind. So right here, guys, NFTs as well. The initial functionality planned by Gala Games is to incentivize the minting of Gala Games-related NFTs onto Flare. People think this is a joke. They think it's a joke that Flare was working with Doge right when Doge explodes in price. They don't get it. They have that myopic tunnel vision. They're missing the bigger picture of what this is. It's not just XRP, but you can believe that XRP is going to be playing a central role in all of this. You really think a blockchain or a digital asset specifically that's been around for 8+ years and has proof of concepts with some of the top 40 and 50 banks in the world has been just twiddling its thumbs? No, they're solving institutional problems and listening to their customers and working on that at scale. And now when regulatory clarity comes, it is going to be game on. So keep that in mind. See, Bitrue will also add a new trading pair, the Gala and the Flare, the Spark token, to the exchange. Keep in mind the Spark tokens, the ticker FLR, is still an IOU for now. Flare Networks will be going live later this year, and I'm very excited for that, and I'm very excited to keep up with all of the developments that Mickey B. Fresh, Crypto Addy, Flare community, everybody's going to be putting out as well. I'm excited to learn with you guys and really level up our knowledge in the space. All right? And before we talk about the important SEC stuff, I'll finish up with this and then we'll keep going, guys. So Grayscale, subsidiary of CoinDesk, as well as Digital Currency Group, Grayscale and CoinDesk are subsidiaries of DCG, They're preparing for DeFi. Just to share some new trust filings that they're working on, we can see Aave, Polkadot, of course, has had some killer past few weeks or months. Cosmos, Atom, absolutely love it and its connections too. Kava, one of my big DeFi holds, as well as Atom. Unfortunately, I don't own as much Atom as I used to because I'm an idiot. Let's see, ADA, and also a privacy coin, Monero, so XMR. Very interesting. So let's get into the good stuff. Right here, so we have heard this Ripple token case highlights need for SEC clarity on crypto. I just want to go through a few highlighted points, and I think this is really going to blow your mind. So first off, Davis Polk partner Joseph Hall recently authored Ripple tokens case highlights need for SEC clarity on crypto. All right. We can see his background as well, and this came out on January 25th, and he served on the U.S. SEC Commission during the era of former President George W. Bush. Now, this is just an amazing write-up. It is 4 pages. I did retweet it. You can find it just typing in Davis Polk or Law 360 Ripple token case highlights. Must read. I'm not going to bore you with every little detail, but it really has some great nuggets. All right? So we already talked about that. Partner, we get it, between 2003 and 2005, so he knows this stuff, obviously. One of the managing directors or executives for policy, by the way, and his thoughts on this matter. Because I think he wants the US to succeed. It's not even like he's defending XRP, he's just using them as an example because the SEC is clearly using XRP and Ripple, the company, as an example, or trying to make an example out of them. And this is just very silly. If you ask me, the timing is just so peculiar with Jay Clayton stepping down and doing this and Gary Gensler. It's just very weird. And as we know, and as I say on this channel all the time, reality is often stranger than fiction. And I think 2020 was one of those years that already showed that to us. All right, so right here, a security must be present, and nothing in our Depression-era laws years ago says that the lines of computer code are securities. Interesting. When Bill Hinman, the director of the SEC's Division of Corporation Finance, said in a speech that the popular crypto, Ethereum, might have been born a security, but later morphed into a non-security. Okay, so if it's a non-security, what is it? Well, as we've heard, even the former CFTC chairman say, if it's not a security, then it could be a currency. If it's not a currency, maybe it could be a commodity. There's a few other types of classifications it could be. All I'm saying is on a going forward basis, XRP is not going to be a security, people. Maybe they'll come up with new classifications for this digital asset space, but I just want to reference Stuart Elderati in his commentary about that. I think a payments token, some type of utility token, a digital commodity, a currency and virtual currency medium of exchange, as some areas already called it that and classified it as that. So it's not me just pulling this out of thin air. I'm actually listening to regulatory bodies, the G20 nations, huge, successful countries that are taking advantage of this digital asset space and already opening crypto trading desks in live banks. We're talking in countries like Japan, these forward thinkers in Singapore. The UK is not waiting. London is just the financial capital of the world. Why is the United States so far behind? And it is, for me, I think it's frankly embarrassing that I'm from the United States at times like this. All right, because we are, getting held back right now. Do I believe we can catch up rather quickly? Yes, but the question is, when is that going to be? All right, so Ethereum might have been born a security, blah, blah, blah. It was a fair bet that XRP would get the same treatment. In other words, maybe there were some issues with early sales of XRP. Agreed, I'm not turning a blind eye to that. I absolutely think there were. But at this point, surely XRP itself was in the clear, right? Well, yes, you can look at the decentralization of the actual ledger, the validators. Oh, and fun fact, why did the SEC say they were building a validator on the XRP ledger years ago? There's just so many things that do not add up. So anybody that just thinks, oh, XRP is dead or it's a security, they have vested interests and they clearly have not done their research whatsoever. And that is why I'm confident in this ecosystem. And I think David Schwartz is as well. And of course, we can't hear people's commentary from Ripple as much. They have to be very professional, very careful with what they're saying. I'm just saying, please decide for yourselves, guys. Nothing's guaranteed. But for me, as an investor that has been accumulating to what I consider life-changing money in this asset already, I think that we are, really going to be positioned to have a massive win in the future. So please do not call us lucky when, even if XRP goes lower and bottoms for another couple weeks or months, I still believe we pop out of that in a massive, massive way. Why? Because it's not just Ripple building. There's hundreds of millions of dollars in this ecosystem that are expanding and building on-ramps to the XRP ledger with absolute demand. Oh, and Flare, oh, and Coil, oh, and even line of credit that Ripple's utilizing for their clients outside of the US because they won't stop if the US does come after them hard. There's just too many things that I consider. So, I encourage you guys to ask questions, debate things properly, but please just keep an open mind, all right? So we'll keep going, and then I think this is the last point. So a market cap. So before the news of the SEC's intentions broke, XRP traded with a market capitalization in the $25 billion to $30 billion range, meaning that any precipitous action by the SEC would surely result in heavy investor losses, ending recently around $13 billion overall in loss of market capitalization. And you can bet that that has to do with some of our money. For people that bought XRP at 30 cents, at 52 cents, at 92 cents recently. So I think we're going to get out of this mess. I know it is dangerous for me to say that, but this is just my opinion. I want to preface that and keep saying that this is not financial advice. Do your own research. Use this video as a tool as you continue deciding for yourselves, and I will do the same, guys. Stay positive. In regards to chasing all these gains and pumps left and right, it does remind me a little bit of the 2017 early bull run as well as the later one. Now, can you make tons of money gambling by chasing gains and pumps? Absolutely. But let's see how long you maintain said wealth using that strategy long term. For me, I'm not a gambler. I value wealth preservation over gain chasing any day of the week. And that is just my personal choice. Hopefully that is a popular thought in this ecosystem, but now I'm seeing even 40-year-old men starting to act like, I did when I was 20. So it's getting a little alarming. Emotions are high. If grandma asks you how to buy Dogecoin, that's when I sell. So that's what I do. Last but not least, I want to speed through this. This is the xrpl.org, the overview of the XRP Ledger. This is not just your typical digital asset, people. That's why we do say that XRP is one of the greatest XRPs. It is one of the greatest digital assets that has ever existed. So we can go speed through this. There's censorship-resistant transaction processing. They already went through the entire code of Bitcoin. Bitcoin has double spending issues, proof of work consensus. They fixed that. The former CTO, Stephen Thomas, has gone over this hundreds of times. We have fast, efficient consensus algorithm, exactly. And it's perfectly positioned to solve the wholesale interbank transfer issue, in my opinion. Finite supply. We can see responsible software governance in terms of voting and validators coming to agreement. Secure adaptable cryptography. Modern features for smart contracts. Oh, and now we have Flare networks as well. So it's just unbelievable. Escrow. I did actually manually lock some XRP that I have. Very little for that matter, like, a couple thousand for fun. For the next few years, just in case. If it moons, I have that locked up. On Ledger, DEXs, decentralized exchanges, guys, going through all of this. Now, you can see this. There's going to be fraudsters that read through this. Users of the XRP Ledger can freeze non-XRP currencies issued in the XRP Ledger. Yes, please read this and understand this. You cannot freeze XRP transactions, relax. You can issue IOUs on the Ledger, and they can control those, and parties can agree on all of that. So please, before you read something and start screaming fire, better understand it. Stay calm. All right. So it goes through all of this, breaks it really, easy to understand methods and, understandings. I encourage you guys to go through this, talking about payment channels, the throughput, how it can scale to as much as Visa. To me, I just truly believe that XRP is a digital asset that should not be slept on. Most investors would be scared and see the black sheep of crypto and run away. When I see FUD, I see money, I see dollar signs, I see opportunity as an investor when there is fear. And I know the silly adage is, oh, buy the blood, buy when everybody's fearful, be greedy when people are fearful. Yeah, but doing it in the moment when you're throwing real money is a very, very different feeling. But I'm just letting you guys know. I am here, just like every other YouTuber in this space or researcher or whatever, it doesn't matter. We're all in this together. We're all just people. We make mistakes. Sometimes we'll be right, sometimes we'll be wrong, but I am just beyond excited to be on this journey with you guys. And I cannot wait to do videos knowing and when we are out of this mess. I'm not going anywhere. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and I will see you in the next one.